guess.
Is it?
In the kitchen, there's a drawer. The first drawer on the right-hand side, right behind the towel counter.
Another one of those are match.
Can I see it?
The lighter.
In the air there, I think.
Because we need just right behind the tile counter. Can you see it?
It's because it's not.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Because we need to light more than one today, I think.
Yeah.
I have a long one too, and maybe a gas recharger somewhere. Close the door, Ken, because the draft is too much for him. Sangha with great virtues, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to ease suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth. Namo Saranto Sucedoye Alahari Samya Samputosye.
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 The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the Deskam One's true and actual meaning. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable YongHua, all good known advisors, Amitofo. How are you today? Who went?
Everybody but me.
How was it?
Interesting.
Yes.
Did you get hungry in the evening?
Not at all.
Actually, no.
Actually, not.
Really?
No.
You didn't get hungry at all?
No.
I wasn't hungry this morning.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
of course, I ate a lot.
You didn't stay awake either, huh?
I couldn't eat a lot.
You didn't eat a lot.
I think too much excitement.
Just like,
They kept you busy?
I had no expectation whatsoever.
I didn't think I was going to make it a few times.
Really? You thought of dropping out or what?
No, bowing and all. I mean, I had to sit down the one time. It was just like forever. You're kneeling and bowing and
There's not a part of me that doesn't hurt.
even unbelievable.
Last night when I went to bed, I was in my sleeping bag. I needed to get out of bed, took 3 aspirin, went back to bed, and I could just feel the pain draining out of my legs. It was just, within 15 minutes, it was just relief like that. Never felt that before.
Hey, Flavia, remember I took you to that Vietnamese temple with the Josefa ones?
Yeah.
In Santa Ana?
Oh, Santa Ana. Okay, yeah.
And they had the 8th precept that day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The hall was
And
full of
Mel
women.
was there too.
All those ladies.
Ah, oh,
Yeah,
really?
so we were sleeping on Buddha Hall.
Yeah. Ah.
So that's the difference. You see, they have plenty of rest. Maybe I should introduce you to the Vietnamese temple first.
I made
think if we knew what to expect, we could have scheduled our time a little better for rest periods. But everything was so exciting and so new that we were just, I guess.
But that morning ceremony is something else, isn't it? You stand there and you don't know what's going on. Huh?
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
I mean, they go so fast.
That's right.
There's
And
no
the
way
one
for you to
thing
follow.
that I knew, the medicine master mantra, they just zip right through it.
They were chanting that stuff faster than I could comprehend the words on the page.
And it's so beautiful when they're doing it. It's like, oh, I just think it's...
You like the music,
Yeah,
huh?
I do. But if you can handle the kneeling and the sitting and, well, the kneeling...
What about the evening ceremony? Yesterday was it's Chinese anyway. Yes. So they had the 88 Buddhas repentance, right? I think, for the evening ceremony.
In feeding the ghost.
And the feeding of the ghost.
There was a thing about purifying water. Was that?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. But the 88 Buddhas repentance, that music is something else, isn't it? When I was in Berkeley Temple with Venerable YongHua, there was an Indian lady who went there. She sort of like lives around the campus or whatever. And she dropped by the temple once, and it happened to be in the evening ceremony, and she liked it so much. She kept on coming back just to attend the ceremony. She enjoyed the music. She thought that the music was so beautiful. And that's how she got started, and she got hooked. Just based on the ceremony alone. Venerable YongHua has so much to offer his temple, and this lady here only likes the ceremony.
But you have a very demanding life. Very demanding.
Demanding?
Yeah.
Think so?
No. Because I'm so spoiled.
Mm.
I do what I want, when I want, as I please. You know, nobody.
Yeah.
There's no schedule.
Actually, what happened to you yesterday is kind of out of the ordinary, because at the temple it's not that busy.
Yeah, the afternoon.
So now they, because they have guests that they try to put on a good facade.
The afternoon, the 3-hour Amitabha Buddha recitation, that's not the normal day to day. You do that in a retreat, like 3-day retreat, 2-day retreat, 1-day retreat. Like,
Typically they have a morning ceremony, and then after that it's maybe you do a little bit of bowing for an hour or meditation for an hour, and then it's free time or work around the monastery until lunchtime. Afternoon we have repentance ceremony, and then it's free time. So it's a lot of free time actually. So when you guys come around, they keep themselves busy as well.
Jen Wen said that this morning that she wanted to talk to us last night, and they wouldn't let her because they didn't want her to get tired.
Jin who?
Jin Wen is the nun who came from Vancouver.
Wow.
She's temporarily managing temple while Heng Li Fa Shi was in China.
Oh, I see.
She came back last night.
Yeah,
the whole group came back last night.
Oh, she
She did?
This morning, yes.
Oh.
Briefly.
She really, when she was praising us for being there and all that, really nice.
But Jen Wen was already to talk today, and she says, "But you're leaving." She says, "And I had such a great story to tell you."
How old is she?
She's not her, I would say, 50s, early 50s.
Early
something like
50s.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. She had a grown son and grown daughter. I think a couple of grandkids.
Yeah.
Wonderful personality.
Yes, wonderful.
Everybody was so kind. I wanted to put Lynn in my pocket. So helpful. So helpful.
So they translated everything for you guys?
Everything.
Everything, huh? Oh, that's good. Did you do the Great Compassion repentance in the afternoon after lunch?
No.
Didn't do it?
Yeah, they did the Amitabha recitation instead.
Ah, okay. Very good. Well, today is our last session. I welcome you all. Today is a very special section, actually. By the time we get to the end of this section 42, then you see what I mean. All right. Section 41, great mind gets rid of desire. The Buddha said, one who practices the way is like an ox pulling a heavy load through deep mud. The ox is so extremely exhausted that it dares not glance to the right, left or right. Only when it gets out of the mud can it rest. Section teaches us to cultivate a straight mind that is intent on keeping defilements away. The Buddha starts first with an analogy. Cultivation's like an ox pulling a heavy load through deep mud. It's hard work, as you just found out yesterday. It's not like a day at the beach. Cultivation should be like that. All right? There's a reason for that. And if you're not too frightened from yesterday's experience, you try it again and you do it often enough. After you pay your dues, I explain to you why it's that way. And the ox is so extremely exhausted that it dares not glance to the left or right. What does it mean? What is meant by here? There's a sense of urgency when you cultivate. And just like the ox here, because it knows that it's a lot of work, there's a lot of you need to put forth, okay, and so you cannot afford to be distracted, so you don't look glance left or right. So only when it gets out of the mud it can rest, okay. That's the sense of urgency that you have in cultivation. The Shramana should regard emotion and desire as being worse than deep mud, and with an undeviating mind he should be mindful of the way. Then he can avoid the suffering. A Shramana in general, the cultivator, should regard emotion and desire as worse than deep mud. Okay? Don't have to look very far. Look at your own emotions and your desire. That are the dangers in your practice right there. And the much worse than deep mud in this analogy. And with an undeviating mind, you should be mindful of the way. Be mindful of the impermanence. You remember the prior section where we talked about the list of 9 difficulties. It's very difficult for you to be able to encounter the way. And for you to be able to get a human body with full organs, encounter the Buddha Dharma, and to be able to practice it, to make progress in your practice is extremely, extremely difficult. Okay, so when you have a chance, you have 1 single minute that you can spend on cultivation, cultivate with single-minded determination. Be mindful of birth and death. We don't have as much time you think. We're born, create karmas, we die and reborn and go through the cycle and over again. That's why you're here today. That's why you have this current body of yours. You reincarnate. Every time you're born, you get confused, you start over again. That's the fact about human life. That's what happens to us. As you have his human body, now that you know about Mahayana and be exposed to it, watch out. Do not get distracted by emotion and desire. Then you can avoid suffering. Okay. Why did the Buddha introduce fear in the equation here? Is he a fearmonger? Is this another of those tools that your typical politician uses? a wake-up call for all of us, actually, that we should fear the ultimate loss. What is the ultimate loss? What is it? The ultimate loss for us is to be able to encounter a good knowing advisor and not take it seriously enough and not cultivate. That's the ultimate loss. Okay? Let me drive the point home for you. Recently, one of my disciples came and saw me. Okay? She recently moved up north, away from us. And before, when that happened, the process started. That was really the end result of the culmination of 7-8 months worth of Dharma I started to teach her. And for several months, she failed test after test after test. Patiently waited and waited and waited. And during the whole time, I warned her. I said, it's not me who's rejecting any of you. It's you who decide to withdraw. And surely enough, she withdrew. She ran away. And so she came back to me, and she committed offenses after offenses after offenses. But that's not the whole point. The point is that I spent 2 hours with her in the morning. Came here around 10 o'clock or so. So I spent 2.5 hours actually with her. 2 hours actually. And it turns out that it's rather shocking to me, because the whole time she was committing offenses after offenses after offenses. It's only about 1 minute's worth of time which her mind calmed down, and she was the normal disciple that I recognized, that I trained. The rest of the time, you're talking about spinning out of orbit. You're talking about sinking into deep mud. That's the end result of what I saw in front of my eyes. Okay? She spent about an hour with my brother Viet. Her pretext is she came to see him. Okay? So afterwards I asked Viet, my brother, what do you think of her? What's your impression? And he said, oh, she looks fine. She looks prepared to do battle. Yeah, of course. But I told Viet, it's unfortunate you didn't watch her. See, I have the experience of watching her mature, make progress and mature into the kind of Buddhist disciple she was. And then to see her lose so much of it in such a short span, a couple of months, that was so fascinating to me. How quickly someone can lose it, can sink that low. Okay? And I told her a lot of things. I said, blessings ran out. She didn't like it. Said it more than once. And every time she has this physical reaction. It was like an insult. Okay? And I basically said, you ought to give up that thing you teach, because it's going to give you a lot of trouble. And she reported to me some of the problems she has, a lot of problems, physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, you name it. And she asked me not to reveal them to you. Okay? Actually, and that's one of the reasons that she came. I took it a step further. I'm taking it a step further. I'm not going to mention those things to you, because because of her request. But I think what she meant is that she doesn't want me to bring her up anymore in my Dharma classes because she wants to keep it private. Okay, I'm going to respect that. But the lesson I want to teach you today is that one of the things that are related to her is that forget it. You cannot cultivate anymore. Because if you think you can cultivate, what you're doing, you're spinning your wheels. And you're only sinking deeper and deeper. So your best bet right now is to go and plant your blessings. Maybe in the future someone else will look at you and say, maybe there's some superior Mahayana roots here that I can help bring to maturity. In Mahayana, you cultivate under a teacher. You don't, you're going to get in such big troubles. Let me relate to you, RJ, the analogy. Okay? It's like your case example. You don't have to worry about a home. Don't have to worry about a roof over your head. You don't have to worry about food on the table. You don't have to worry about money to pay for your education. Okay? And that's an incredible amount of blessings that you are reaping right now. Alright? And that's the very same analogy. You cannot, without the kind of assistance you're getting right now, if you weren't like that, you had to spend time working just to pay for your rent, to pay for your food, so that you don't get hungry. And then if you can make enough money, maybe you can pay towards your education on top of the money you had to borrow to pay for your tuition fees. Okay? So without the kind of assistance from your parents, you wouldn't have a chance to invest in your future. Cultivation, folks, is about having the foresight of planning for this lifetime as well as future lifetimes. If you think that all that matters to you right now is this body you have, you're so wrong. Your life would be so short-sighted and so limited and so unhappy, so unfulfilling, so meaningless. So, to be able to encounter a good no advisor in Mahayana and practice, it's just the same as what RJ is getting right now. And more. Because what RJ is getting right now is only his physical body and his intellectual life. Maybe emotional. But what he's not getting is spiritual. Well, not true, because it's his dad who brought him to our series. So it's not quite true. But for the average person, okay, you're missing the spiritual aspect of it. You go there, out there, we grow up, and we train our mind to think, to analyze. We will never learn how to be a human being. Never learn how to be happy. Okay? Never learn how to take care of our spiritual life, our wisdom life. So, what happened to that disciple is that she committed a terrible boo-boo. Okay? And to be able to encounter the Mahayana and practice and see the progress, how quickly you can progress, and not appreciate it enough, is a terrible, terrible thing you do to yourself. The very example in front of our eyes. We cultivate. I call you Ruban because I want to remind all of you that you cultivate as a group. You learn from each other's experience. even though I promised her I wouldn't, I'm really, after today's lecture, I'm not going to ever mention her name again because of her, extending her request to the level where that's what she really wants, to keep it private to herself, which is a lack of wisdom right there. The more you want to keep things in your life in the dark, the more confused you become. That's the proof of my statement about someone sinking so quickly. You have the fortune of being the blessing to be exposed to this sutra here. Okay? Because I told her that one of the main reasons why I started to explain this sutra quickly, early, is for her sake. Because this sutra here, all 42 sections, have so many things that are relevant to all of you, especially to her case. So, for example, section 41 is a very typical example. Keep a straight mind. The mind this woman has is not straight. Because she even admitted to me that in her worldly ways, it's okay to mislead people, to say things that let people interpret their own ways. And I looked at her and said, that's lying. Lie. You pay the price right away. Of what? People not trusting you anymore. People looking at you like a thief. And the other thing that she fails to understand is that this person functions with a haze in her mind. Why is that? Because she constantly misleads people. Misleading other people meaning that you do not allow other people, you deliberately confuse people, confuse their perceptions, confuse their understanding, and guess what happens to you? It's cause and effect right there, and you fail to understand it. Okay? Now again, this is not a personal attack. This is for all of us to hear about it. Okay? You may not agree with me. Okay? This is my personal interpretation of the facts. Okay? You break precept. Every time you break precepts, you pay right away, whether you know it or not. More kung fu you have, the quicker you pay. Quicker you pay. That's what the section here says. Cultivate a straight mind. A straight mind is a mind that doesn't try to mislead people. Okay? So, this is part of the section where it needs to be edited out. See, this sutra here has 3 versions. This original version that is being recorded right now is only for in-house training. Okay? Meaning for your ears only. And for the future people who will be my disciples, even left home people, disciples, they have access to this kind of information for their cultivation, because this helps the cultivation. Okay? In cultivation we talk about anything, everything. We don't leave out anything. Alright? And then we edit it to take out the things like personal names, people who are alive, okay, that may affect their things, their life in an adverse way. We edit it out, okay, and then that's the next version where it's available to the public in audio files. Now, the next version will be the printed version, where it's more embellished grammatically or whatever. Okay, so why are we doing this? Because some of the dharmas are intended for your ears, for the people who want to cultivate. And I know that even though some of these files, the original audio recording, may fall on the wrong people for whatever the reason, maybe they can hack into my computer and get the files. It doesn't matter. You have to realize that in spiritual pursuits, unless the Dharma is transmitted to you, even if you steal it, you cannot cultivate it.
Yeah.
You cannot make progress with it.
Well, it's stealing.
For example, the Venerable YongHua has a Dharma called the 42 hands and eyes
what's
Dharma. Okay, it's a secret tool Dharma. It's a tantric Dharma. Okay,
Yeah.
and you cannot cultivate it unless it's transmitted to you.
You try talk.
The only few people who can transmit them to you. For example, Venerable YongHua is the only one who can transmit it to us, and then he designated a few people to help him transmit it to specific people.
So not all advisors can do it?
Not even I can't transmit it. I was given the authority to transmit it. So even if I transmit it to you, let's say because I say, you have $20,000 to spare, right? I have this fantastic Dharma here. I transmit it to you, and basically stealing from your money from you, because the Dharma is not meant to be. Unless it's transmitted to you, you cannot succeed in cultivating.
So even if it's transmitted, you can't cultivate?
You mean you can make use it or be effective? Is that what I mean?
No, you can pick up the book that has a book.
There's a book on it?
Yeah, book on that. It costs about $300. You have to apply for it.
It's not sold anymore.
It's not sold anymore.
Oh.
In the 80s it was sold.
First of all, it was sold.
It was sold.
Okay, like regular price at $40.
Even the Sharangama mantra, there's 7 volumes to it. In the old days, you could just go on the counter and buy it for $6. And now you can't even get it. You have to get it because some people got it and they used it for deviant purposes.
Yeah.
And also, the Master YongHua never transmitted the 42 hands until he came to the United States. Even all his disciples in China never transmitted. There's a lot of power. Master YongHua is right. You cannot. You can steal it, but people that steal it use it. It's a deviant purpose. It's very powerful. It's not like it's just like a gun. If you don't know how to use it really for bad things or use it for good things. And there are people, that's why it's really hard to get those volumes now. There's 7 volumes in that mantra. I've seen the original 42 hands. Someone was given to him. And it's actually the drawings done in the Master YongHua's own painting. He has a self-portrait and he painted.
You mean those things like
the
this?
mudras. Those things are called mudras.
All the mudras.
Yeah.
All those 42.
How do you know about that? How do you know?
How do I know?
Yeah.
I've been stealing.
That was like the secret stuff.
You told me I was stealing them.
He likes to use those lightning bolts and shoot at people. That's past life karma. You know? He might smile, but then he likes to read the lightning.
After he told me I've been stealing them, I'm not stealing this much.
As much.
That's much.
Just a little
Qualifies as much. Instead of stealing 10, he only steal 8.
So how do you
How do you steal it?
No, how do you use it?
Where do you get it from? The information.
Online
From
probably.
Viet's book.
Which one?
Oh
no, that's not. You don't have access to it yet.
The Great Compassion.
Yeah, the one he gave you is this is the book I'm referring to.
Oh, you have?
You see this?
Well, like you don't show it to.
What's the name of it? The
Great Dharma Sutra.
You want to look at it? Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Here.
No,
Oh.
that's the other.
This is the actual mantra itself. This is where they teach the
What
mantra.
mantra is that? The
That
Dharma?
book is, if you
Dharma?
can get it, it's more than $1,000 now.
Is that right? When I bought it 12 years ago, I didn't buy it. Okay, I couldn't afford it. I was broke. $300 back then.
My
and you
copy,
have to apply.
my copy when I got it,
Sutra.
$7.95.
As a left-home person, I have to apply first of all.
$7.95.
And when I apply the application, I sign and say why I want to take this. For example, if I wanted to buy this and I wasn't given a transmitter, wasn't transmitted this Dharma, they would have rejected my application. Okay, it was that tough. Okay, it's $300, and nowadays it's like $1,000. Okay, trust me.
That's me.
If they charge $100,000, it's worth it.
Why don't they just want more?
Well, what do you do with
I
it?
don't understand.
It's not meant to be. It's not. You can't pay enough for it.
What do you do with it?
You can fly around.
I'm saying $100,000 being to be there's to be facetious. It could be $1 billion, because you guys are so keen on the dollars amount. But as far as this Dharma is concerned, it's priceless. Okay, and this is what he's talking about. Ready?
Yeah.
This is $300. This is $100. I bought it.
What's
Okay.
the name of this one? The Great Compassion.
You can look at it, but you can't. You can't buy it. You can't buy it. Okay. I'm telling you this because you see, this is real. This is the real world. This is what Venerable YongHua is transmitting to his lineage. This is our lineage. Okay.
English? Lineage.
Look.
Oh, the picture.
He drew it himself.
Drew that himself?
That's his own. That's
Yeah,
his
we
own.
His own
painting.
drawing.
Those are
Wow.
his.
He says this is how you practice it. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's his own painting. Yeah. His own.
No, that's what you do when you sit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Are you happy now? Are you greedy now?
Closer?
Well,
Memorize it?
can't we pass it around?
Come back with missing pages.
Yeah,
to 100.
For example, recitation beats hands and eye. Okay? This is how you practice it. This is how you're supposed to sit.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay? That's what it means. Okay? And then the verses here are like in martial arts, every time in the advanced classes, they teach you a form. There's some verses with it. The verses contains secret meanings why the form is like that. Whether it's Qigong or Tai Chi,
Right.
same thing. You all have some kind of verses that explain the meaning behind the forms. Okay? There's a secret teaching behind the form that if someday in the future you memorize it, eventually you understand what it's for. Okay? Well, this is the same kind of verses. Why this? What some of the applications for this particular kind of Dharma. Okay? Now, let me tell you why I'm not doing this for you. Just for you to illustrate the point, this is for real. Okay? It's not for sale. This kind of thing is for our spiritual pursuit, our spiritual heritage. Okay? And even if you know all this, suppose you can buy this. Okay? Suppose you're given transmission. You buy this. Where are you? You're at the same level as my late father. He was given transmission. He had access to all this. Okay? Never practiced it. Okay? Never practiced it. For whatever the reason, he said. The first hand is as you wish pearl, meaning it can generate a lot of jewels, a lot of wealth. Okay? And he said, so my late father said, that's greed. I'm not, I'm going to indulge in a kind of Dharma. It's going to make me more greedy. Missed the point completely. Very first hand. Let me show you.
You mean by
Wishing pearl. And this generates a lot of wealth. If you want to be wealthy, you cultivate this hand. Okay?
You mean things will come to you?
It hasn't come to me yet.
You're not practicing.
I don't know how.
Why is that to be interpreted as not being greed?
If you look at only that aspect of it, okay, and if you cultivate it, then you're greedy. But there's more behind that. You see, if Mahayana is only about making money and building a lot of temples and building fattening up your bank account, whether it's even for Mahayana temples or Mahayana accounts, it's still greed. Okay? If that's what all the Dharma is about, then I wouldn't even bother cultivating it. Who are you to say this Dharma is only indulged in greed? It's stupidity. Okay?
Suppose you did it to prostitute.
So what does it mean? It means that you don't have enough blessings to be able to be receptive to it. And that's why you come up with different stupid reason for not cultivating it. Okay? And I'll give you an example. Another Dharma called the jewel, chest, hand, and eye. Okay? You see this?
Oh, wow.
See this?
Yeah.
What does it say? It says that for uncovering hidden treasures in the earth.
You find treasures under earth.
In the earth. It opens up.
All treasures.
Okay? All kinds of treasures in the earth. Okay? That's what it says. Very simple explanation. Okay? What happened is that there's a nun, a disciple of my Shifu, who cultivated his hand, particular hand here, and she was putting some jade pieces, and they, like 10 pieces came out. Exact replicas. Wow! They got duplicated. And when I heard about that, okay, if I were there, I would have scolded her and said, "You stupid nun. How can you be cultivating and indulging in that kind of stupid thoughts?"
Then what's the purpose of having these? Wow!
You can't use them till you know.
To be enlightened.
To be enlightened.
Yes. And to help others. It's not for you.
Okay.
Okay. Just say you cultivate and you wish pearl and you make a lot of wealth. If it's all worth for yourself, why bother? If you need wealth to help others, then it makes sense to cultivate it. Because how can you give if you have nothing to give?
Okay, then I don't understand something. Master Shenhua, when I was reading his life record, when he came to this country, he was so poor, he was living in a basement in some place in San Francisco. He had all this power. Why didn't he manifest money and wealth and, you know what I mean?
Why?
That wasn't his
He
purpose when he
suffered
got
for a
there.
long time living in
If he were to do that, let's say, suppose, never mind. Let's say if he needed money to buy lunch, okay? And he says, "I'm hungry." Let's not worry about temples and a lot of stuff. Let's talk about some real concrete things here. Lunchtime coming up pretty soon here. You need money to pay for that, to buy lunch. And you don't have any money. So you pull out your hands and money appears.
Yeah. So
Cool thing, eh? Huh? Wouldn't it be cool to be able to do that? When you do that, what happens?
You're using up your blessings.
Using up your blessings, yes. And then comes dinner time. Still no money. What are you gonna do? Money appears. Okay? Or maybe someone comes and then throw you some money. Okay? And then same thing happens again tomorrow for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And then the following day you say, maybe I should have a car, because with a car I can drive to Long Beach Monastery and get some sutras to help open up my wisdom. So what happens? My point here is that you keep on using it to fulfill your desires. what are you doing that's not right according to section 41? You're indulging in your desires. See, the superior person, when he or she has it, she doesn't use it for her own sake.
But it's a stealing way in hurrying the Dharma transmission.
Okay, now look at the other side. That's a very good reason. That's exactly, I have to struggle with myself. I said, maybe I should be more famous. Maybe I should make it get a bigger temple and so on, because I can help more people. Then I look back and say, is it really helping other people or helping myself? That you never know.
There's a line between.
As long as I'm not sure, I'm not going to take a chance.
I see that.
Okay? And what if you, whatever you need, you create for your own needs? What happens to all of you? How are you going to plan your blessings? If I'm really self-sufficient, I don't need your food from you, I don't need money from you. How on earth are you going to plan your blessings? If I need money to print sutras, like, money appears. Dig up a pearl from the earth. Okay? How are you going to plan your blessings? See? That's why this Dharma, particular Dharma, is not transmitted, because of the very question you asked. Until you have enough Mahayana good roots not to be greedy. When you get it, then you don't get the transmission. Because you end up harming yourself. The harm you create is much bigger than the benefit you get out of it. Out of the Dharma. That's for your sake, not for his sake. Yes.
Is that why the Sangha is called a field of blessings?
Yes. We are not supposed to provide for ourselves. What do you think? Let's say you open your eyes, your heavenly, your spiritual eyes, and you can say, you can tell that what those 6 numbers are going to be this weekend for the big lotto.
I'd love to know that.
Who cares about you anymore? Huh? Who needs your money? It's true financial independence, folks. Why worry about you guys? You guys are retail. Okay? We're talking wholesale here.
Oh, okay.
One thing, and you know what numbers to buy. Okay? That's why when we had this young Shami training program at Long Beach Monastery, some of them opened their eyes and they got into such big troubles because they can do things and see things and became greedy, and they returned to lay life. See, it's never about spiritual things. These things are spiritual powers. They give you spiritual powers very quickly, and they also can get you into such big troubles.
We're looking at the surface and not the depth.
You're still caught by the marks, the appearances. You still don't have enough wisdom to handle it. Yes?
Can I defend my stealing the Dharma?
No.
No, I didn't say I was going to continue. I want to tell you why I did it.
It's not really what you have. What you got is really nothing. This is the real stuff. What you got from that small book is nothing. It's only some references
online.
to it.
You can go to the computer.
I figured that's just what
It's online.
This actual transmission?
Not that book, but what the mudras are. I didn't know what mudras were.
Yeah,
so
you can
I went to
learn.
look it up and went to the Dharma.
Because what happens is people will put it online and whatever the reasons are, as junk.
I mean, it's not as if you had the book on.
This book here has so many misprints, by the way. If you got the actual book itself, for the actual mantras, there's so many typos in here. Never bothered correcting it.
Oh, it's a trap, purposely.
I didn't do it. Okay, so
999,000 I sell. $1,000 off.
it's nothing to defend. It's nothing to defend.
Who determined? Well, I guess he did.
When you are supposed to learn it, you get the transmission. You're not supposed to learn it. It's all right. Will do you more harm than good.
You knew my question when I didn't even ask it. Yeah, okay. I'm supposed to know that.
Section 42, the final section here.
Oh,
Oh, and there's 5 parts of it. Okay.
All right, 1 of 5. Okay, pay attention here. Okay, you have to have tremendous blessings to be able to be here and hear about the explanation for this particular section, because it's not available anywhere else. This is the first time it's explained like this in English. Even YongHua doesn't explain it like that. Actually, this is about the Dharma of enlightenment. I don't want to make it anticlimactic. Remember a section a while ago I said it's a section where don't trust your mind. I said if you were to attend the Sutra lectures and miss all the lectures and only attend this one lecture here, then it's worth it for you. That was a lie. If you could attend a lecture and then attend this particular section 42, then you're incredibly blessed. Okay? Because what really this section contains is those secret verses that I talked about. If you ask me, at a certain from certain perspectives, the section is even more important than the 42 section, the 42 hands and eyes. Because you look at that level, my late father, you get the transmission, you get everything, all the information to cultivate. You don't cultivate, you waste your blessings. Okay. Even if you cultivate, even more specialized training, cultivation techniques for that Dharma as well, that many of you are not transmitted. Many of them are not transmitted. So many layers, many levels. There's no need to be greedy. You're supposed to cultivate because for whatever the reasons are, you'll be given the transmission for the proper level. Okay? You don't need to be greedy. Just, I want to expose it to you so that I want you to recognize the greed arises in your mind. If you're greedy, watch out. There's no need for that. And because you don't believe, you may think that getting spiritual power is such a cool thing. I'm telling you, section 42 is much better than that. Okay? Buddha said, I look upon royalty in high positions as upon the dust that floats through a crack. I look upon treasures of gold and jade as upon broken tiles. I look upon the silk clothing as upon cheap cotton. This particular section is important because it is meant to break living being attachments to dharmas. He's looking at status and power like insignificant achievements. We spend our lifetimes chasing after fame, recognition, and positions. And this, from the Buddha, he says, it's not that big of a deal, folks. Okay? Why isn't that big of a deal? Because it does not help us with the birth and death problem we all have to face. When you're born, you spend all your energy in your lifetime pursuing positions, then you waste your chance. Okay?
Good that we turn our back on the best.
Yes. It would be a better thing to do. Turn your back on the dust and look towards enlightenment, which is a wise thing to do. The normal, ordinary person attaches to dust. I look upon a great thousand world universe as upon a small nut kernel. I look upon the waters of Anavataka Lake as upon oil used to anoint the feet. He looks upon treasures of gold and jade. Gold is a universally recognized gem, right? Precious metal we all highly value. And jade is among the Chinese culture, Oriental culture, as a precious stone. Okay? So precious jewels and treasures are worthless to Buddha as well. In fact, when you're reborn to the land of ultimate bliss, the ground is made of gold and the 7 treasures. That's like dust there. It's a big deal here. But if you get reborn there, you don't even care for it. Okay? Depends on your reference points, yes.
There's a story that a very wealthy man was told that he could bring 1 suitcase when he went to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So he took all of his wealth and he converted it into gold and he put it into the suitcase. And then when he died and he went to heaven, he took the suitcase. And when he reached heaven, they asked him, "What's in the suitcase?" And he told, "I was told I could bring it." And he opened it up and they said, "You brought pavement?"
And I look upon the waters of the Anavataka Lake as upon oil used to anoint the feet. Anavataka Lake is a big, big lake. Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped that. I look upon a great thousand world universe as upon a small nut kernel. Wait, did I skip something here? Yeah, I'm sorry. Fine silk clothing as upon cheap cotton. Okay, a non-attachment here. Okay, fine clothing, fashion. Okay, not attached to that either. Very personal thing here. Okay, the rich people, they spend a lot of money in the clothing for very good reasons. Because it's nothing that feels like it. It's very private, very personal. Okay? It's their ultimate luxury. They enjoy it. They don't need to tell you. You don't know about it. Tough luck. Look upon a great thousand world universe as upon a small nut kernel. He's looking at a Buddha land, a galaxy. Okay? That's what he means, a great thousand world universe, as a small nut kernel. That's his perspective. Remember, when you cultivate, the higher the more you progress, the higher you reach, the better perspective you have, right? Where he's at right now, he looks at a galaxy as big as a nut kernel, a small nut kernel. Okay? That's his reference points. So he's not. This is because he opened his Buddha eyes and he can see the whole Dharma realm. Okay, so he's not easily impressed. He's not attached to big or small. That's what he means. Okay. To us, a galaxy is pretty big, but to him, it's pretty small. Okay? See, we have this discriminating mind about big and small. He doesn't have it. Okay? So don't say that he's discriminating. He says something that big and he thinks is small. He's still discriminating. No, it's meant for us. For us, it's big, but really it's pretty small in the right perspective. The waters of the Anavatapka lake, that lake is pretty big, huge lake in India. And for that amount of water in the lake, it's about as much as a little bit of oil that you use to anoint the feet to the Buddha. That's all you need.
On each foot.
Yes. That's about as much as it is to him. So he's not attached to little or too much. Okay? Okay, it gets deeper, yes.
That reminds me of. Have you read the story Journey to the West?
Mm-hmm.
The Monkey King.
Yes.
He was fighting Buddha, and he was using all his magic power trying to escape the mountains. But for whatever he does, he can never come beyond the Buddha's 5 fingers, the hand.
Yeah. Actually, you remember actually the story behind it is that monkey has tremendous spiritual powers. He can fly to the end of our world in a flash. That's how quickly he can fly, much faster than rockets. Okay. And so when he met the Buddha, he became arrogant. He said, "Buddha, I have tremendous spiritual powers. I can fly. Okay, I can fly very far, in just like that." Okay, and the Buddha said, "Okay." Put the Buddha in put his hands out and say, "Stand my feet and see how far you can fly. Fly as far as you can, okay? And let's see where you are." So that monkey guy hopped on the Buddha's hands and used his spiritual powers to fly. He flew for a long time. Okay? Now he marked it. He saw a mountain, a cluster of 5 mountains. And he said, "Okay, I flew long enough. Normally it takes me a flash, right? Now I took my time. I flew even further than that." So he marked the mountain. And then he came back and saw, "Hey Buddha, you see, I got very far." And how far did you get? "Very, very far." And the Buddha said, "How do you know?" See, I marked it where I flew so that you can't miss it. Is this what you mean? And Buddha said, open his eyes, his hands, never flew beyond the Buddha's palm of the hand. Because you can see the mark on the Buddha's hand. Does it ring a bell?
Yeah.
That's the story. Okay. So, next level. I look upon the door. Expedient means as upon a cluster of jewels created by transformation. I look upon the unsurpassed vehicles as upon a dream of gold and riches. Okay. When you cultivate, okay, you cannot get out of the triple realm unless you cultivate the agama vehicle. That's the first means for us to escape the 3 realms. Okay? Meaning that, let's say you reach 8th samadhi. Okay? For you to progress further, you have to cultivate either Mahayana or Hinayana Dharma. And the expedient door here, expedient means here refers to the Hinayana Dharma. Okay? This is what the Arhats, the Pratyeka Buddhas cultivate. Okay? And they're called expedient means or provisional teaching. Okay? they're incredible. You can become arhats, or you can become pratyeka Buddhas with this Dharma. Okay? And the Buddha looks at that Dharma door as some jewels created by transformation. This is referring to the provisional teaching only brings you to what is called in Mahayana the transformation city. Meaning that it is a wonderful city that is temporarily created for our rest. But it is much more ahead of us. There's no need to be attached to that city. Okay? You'll be hearing about more of that in future lectures. But this is what it's referring to. It gets deeper. Okay?
What does he mean by unsurpassed vehicle, please?
The unsurpassed vehicle refers to the actual teaching. Remember that the other one is expedient means provisional teaching. The unsurpassed vehicle is the actual teaching, meaning the Buddha vehicle. This is how you become Buddhas. Okay? And notice here it is saying that even the actual teaching itself, okay, the teaching that allows you to become a Buddha, to the Buddha is merely a dream of riches and gold. What does it mean?
So what is...
So what's the point? Why are you cultivating?
Yeah, what's the point?
Still in attachment.
Huh?
It's still in attachment.
That's right. If you cultivate, you say, I cultivate to become a Buddha, and you become attached to that very process, the very thought.
Because you have to be clearer than that, or you'll never become a Buddha.
If you don't at first attach to it first,
Yes.
how are you going to go along the path?
You attach to it first, you have to be attached to it first.
Yeah.
You have to give rise to greed, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how we operate. You can't say we're not greedy. You just have to be greedy for the right stuff. Right? Initially. And then you progress long enough along the way, you progress beyond the provisional teaching even. Then you say, for me to get further, to get that direction called Buddhahood, I need to even let go of the attachment to Buddhahood. It's only a dream. Okay?
It's hard to understand.
Of course, very hard to understand.
Like crossing the turn of the head is the other shore. You take the boat.
Till you get to the other side, you're still on a boat.
That's right. Yeah. See, you're seeking to go
But when
to
you
the
get
place
to the
where
other
there's no
side-
seeking, but the seeking is in self an obstruction.
But when you get to the other side.
Sorry, I still attached to the boat. So
Yeah.
I need the boat.
But you
Right.
can't get to the other side with the boat.
Never mind.
You get to
You get to the other side, but you can't really get to the other
Well,
side with
I
the
won't
boat.
worry about what happens after I get to the shore. Until I get to the shore, I need the boat.
But then you
Right. But
But
once
the
you
boat-
get the other shore, you have to let go of the boat.
Yeah.
See, the arhats cannot let go of the boat. When you get there, you know what I mean.
Once you
Just
reach the shore, where do you
just
leave the
be
boat?
grateful and plant a seed for you to know there's something there. Once you get there, there's something more. Okay? And you have to be prepared for that. That's all we can do for you. So it's the same. Folks, it's not me who reject you. Remember that? I hear that so many times. It's you decide to withdraw. When you do that, okay, you shoot yourself in the foot. Don't tell me I didn't warn you. So it's the same thing in Hinayana vehicle. They say there's something called transformation city. Once you get there, it's an incredible thing called arhatship. 4 states arhatship. It's an incredible state. Spiritual powers. You're a master of your own master. No one can touch you, including King Yama. King Yama can no longer touch you. When you get there, you say, this is wonderful. And that's it. You don't listen anymore. I'm giving you a tip right now. I say, when you get there, it's not a big of a deal. There's still more. That's your blessing. Okay? I look upon the Buddha way as upon flowers before my eyes. I look upon dhyana samadhi as upon the pillar of Mount Sumeru. I look upon nirvana as upon being awake day and night. He's getting real personal now, if you ask me. The Buddha way is upon flowers before my eyes. What does it mean, flowers before my eyes? What he's referring to is in the Shurangama Sutra, where flowers, apparition of flowers in front of your eyes, because your vision is distorted. That's why you press your eyes. You press your eyes like this until it hurts, and keep it there for a long, long time, and your eyes goes berserk, and you start having these crazy visions of flowers in space. Okay? They're not real. Alright? So that's what he says. Mahayana is merely a vision of flowers. They won't last forever. Even Mahayana will disappear as well. Okay? Don't be so attached to it. Look upon dhyana samadhi. Okay? This is where it may get personal for you. As upon the pillar of Mount Sumeru. Mount Sumeru is the highest mountain in the desire realm. Okay? That's the tallest mountain there is. And it towers over everything else. Samadhi power is cool. But it can be taught. It's not the utmost. It's not the ultimate. Someone else better than you. If you go dhyana samadhi route, there's so many people are far better than you in samadhi power. Nothing to be proud of. Nothing to be attached to. It's not big of a deal. Trust me. I look upon nirvana as upon being awake day and night. Nirvana, meaning a Buddha state. There's nothing more Buddha than being awake, being clear-headed, constantly. See, at night when you sleep, that's when you get confused. Okay? In nirvana, you constantly are aware, constantly clear-headed. I look upon inversion and uprightness as upon 6 dancing dragons. I look upon how do you pronounce it? Impartiality, thank you, as upon the one true ground. I look upon the flourishing of the teaching as upon a tree blooming during 4 seasons. It gets more difficult to understand. What's inversion?
Upside down thing.
Yeah, another word for upside down. Deviant. Okay? Deviant thinking. When you deviant thinking, you commit offenses. Yeah.
Okay. No more.
And so, looking at what's the opposite of inversion?
Uprightness.
Uprightness. Okay? So, what are 6 dancing dragons?
I guess when the dragons dance, they go upside down, right side up, all the place.
You cannot tell. You can tell one end from the other. One from the other. Inversion or uprightness.
Right.
You can't tell when they dance. Okay? You have 6 dragons dancing. Ever seen a dragon? You have 6 of them. They're long and they twirl around. You cannot tell one end from the other anymore. So the 6 dragons here really refer to the 6 organs. They can be as captivating as the 6 dancing dragons. And that's the nature of being upside down or right side up. They're both captivating. You are so self-righteous. Okay? Or you're so deviant, it's the same.
It's It's the same.
You're caught. You're still discriminating.
You can't have a top without a bottom.
You're still discriminating.
Yeah.
So he says, when you still have a discriminating mind. You see, this is, I warn you, this is a more advanced level. Okay? When you go beyond a certain level, then you have even to let go of deviant and non-deviant. They become 6 dancing dragons. No more distinction.
So everything goes.
If you get there, you should not be attached. Okay? Why is it important to you and to me? Because if they still have attachment about being upside down, right side up, okay, my Shifu would have never accepted me as his disciple. Because I was such a bad boy. It's no longer attached to my being good or bad. If he's attached to only good, then he only accepts good people as disciples. If he's attached to people with superior roots, then what happens to people with poor roots? They have no chance. If he only accepts, if he rejects bad people, how are they going to have a chance to learn and change their ways? How can you help others if you like that? But until you get there, you better differentiate between right and wrong. You better learn, make sure you're on the right side of the tracks. I look upon impartiality as upon the one true ground of truth, where there's no duality. I look upon the flourishing of the teaching as upon the tree blooming in 4 seasons. Okay? Maybe a tree that blooms in all 4 seasons, but it still has its cycles, up low and highs. Okay? That's the Buddha Dharma. We will flourish, then we'll die, we'll disappear, we'll come back again. Why? Because living beings, the nature of the blessings of living beings is like that. We are in a Dharma ending age where the teaching is dying and disappearing day by day. Because our karmic offenses are extremely heavy. We create more offenses than blessings. That's what we sink day by day by day, unless we cultivate. And the nature of the orthodox Dharma that Venerable Shenhua is spreading is that now that we know about Mahayana and orthodox teaching, we have a choice. We can choose to cultivate and right the ship, or we can choose to let it go and follow its natural course of natural deterioration. And the example I told you about my disciple, very quickly you can make progress, and then very quickly you can sink as well. Okay? Now, when he says look here, look is a word that is being repeated everywhere. Look upon, look upon, look upon. Look here is to use the Buddha's eyes. The Buddha eyes, one of the 5 spiritual eyes. It's not regular eyes we have. Okay? So you can trust his wisdom. So in general, whatever you do, whoever you are, wherever you're at in your stage of life, don't be attached. Okay? This section is very important because there's a lot of attachments for all the people at various levels of cultivation. Okay? Why did I say that you are extremely good roots? Because the Dharma enlightenment involves 3 types of contemplation. Contemplation of emptiness, mundane contemplation, and the middle way contemplation. Okay? 3 contemplation. You keep on hearing about this. If you cultivate to you investigate the Mahayana, okay, it's not available in English yet. Okay, the 3 contemplations that will bring you to enlightenment, and planting the seeds in your consciousness for enlightenment here today, in English. Emptiness contemplation, mundane contemplation, and middle way contemplation. This is beyond Ahachit Dharma. Alright? Emptiness contemplation, that's the code behind the first 5 contemplations the Buddha said in this section. The first contemplation is about fame and position, recognition. Okay? That's false. Let go of that. Let go of wealth. Let go of food and clothing. Can you let go of food and clothing? Can you let go of your money? How about your attachment to your world? Your being American? Huh? Superior Americans.
We got a taste of that
The
yesterday.
superior women. Smarter than men. Huh?
Well, men think they're smarter than women.
Yeah, we deserve each other.
What do you mean? Think?
Oh. Well, it's a woman saying it, so that's why.
Uh-oh. Open that door again.
So this is how you do the emptiness contemplation. You contemplate the fame, the wealth, the food, clothing, world, rivers, and ocean. Okay? That's the first 5 contemplation. That's what really is meant behind what the Buddha described, the first 5. Yes.
How do you contemplate on these 5 things?
You're not there yet, kiddo.
Thanks for asking.
He's just knocking us down every moment today, isn't he?
Mundane contemplation, the next 5. Okay? In mundane contemplation, do not be attached to expedient dharmas, even to Mahayana dharmas. Okay? People keep on asking. Some people ask me, why do you keep on belittling the Hinayana dharma? I'm not only belittling Hinayana, I'm also belittling the big vehicle as well, the Buddha way as well, the Samadhi and Nirvana. All of those things are nothing. For the record. Okay? That's called mundane contemplation. Now, when you cultivate, say, I understand experience, I understand vehicle, I understand Buddha way, I understand Samadhi. I have some Samadhi power supposedly. Nirvana. So you skip from emptiness contemplation, you jump to mundane contemplation. It doesn't work like that. This is the last one. I should make a change here. Should be about middle way contemplation. The title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? I make the correction later. But the middle way is there's no inversion nor anything proper. Okay? And you should be impartial. And even the teaching itself will come and go. That's the middle way. It's not going to be there forever. No matter how good it is. No matter how great it is. Okay? Because it itself will disappear as well. It becomes nothing. It be from great to nothing. This is called the middle way contemplation. You know, when I was cultivating and searching for different means to cultivate, different dharmas to cultivate, okay, I wish I had this information. So, it's incredible that you are the reason for me to explain the Dharma for you. So that, why? So that it gets recorded. You remember 3 versions I talked about? First of all, it recorded in your consciousness. Okay? First time that this kind of information is transmitted in English, and you are the first recipients. Okay? And then we will make the other two versions available to the general public, okay, which will make this kind of information available for cultivators in the future that can help them become enlightened quicker. For that, I thank you for the opportunity to be able to explain the sutra. That's the end of the sutra. The sutra typically has 3 sections. Number 1 is preface section. We have that in the sutra, and then the main text, the main body, which is all the sections here, 42 sections, and finally usually there is transmission or propagation section, which this sutra doesn't have. Okay? In the future, you see what I mean. In the future, you see the transmission section. So typically, the 3 sections, the sutra only has the first 2 sections, no propagation section. In that section, the Buddha basically says, this is a wonderful Dharma, make sure you transmit it and make it available to others. Okay? That's the one I just made up to make up for it. I hope that in the future, we have the chance to make this information available for you as reference, for referral, because in the future you have to come back to this. At some point in time, I will send certain of my disciples, the people who cultivate with me, to go back to this, refer to this section when they're ready for it. Okay? Any questions?
I do. Today we were told that the people who were attending vegetarians and stuff, the mind, the vegetarian precept. We were told that everyone attending was not
A what?
a bodhisattva. What does that mean?
Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard.
Huh?
Is that what you heard?
Just said, he said to go and like be a bodhisattva.
Then none this morning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard something like that, but I heard being bodhisattva in the world is like practicing.
You're practicing the Bodhisattva's Dharma,
Yeah.
but you're in this world.
So we're not a true bodhisattva, they mean that we're just practicing.
Yeah, you hear about that a lot. You hear of that a lot in Taiwanese temples. You go to the Taiwanese temple and you participate in the Dharma assembly. I heard a lot in Taiwan. They call us as bodhisattvas. They refer to us as bodhisattvas. Thank you, bodhisattvas, for your offerings or for your participation and all those things. Really, they call us bodhisattvas.
Yeah.
And I find it offensive. Because it offends my sensibilities. I'm no bodhisattva. I'm just a flesh and bone person. Just a skin bag. And you call me bodhisattva, I feel that I don't deserve it. And I feel there's some untruth in even your statement. Okay? You don't need to flatter me. Call me what I am.
Okay.
No, not in the DR temples. I didn't detect it as a flattery, but it borders on flattery, which is not what the DRBA stands for. She's young. She's a chin, right? She doesn't know. That's fine. Okay? And as I hope that the Hung will correct her in the future not to do that, because Mahayana is about truth. We tell you what it is. You don't like it, tough luck, yell at us, scream at us, okay? But that's the way it is, okay? Because you don't need to be flattered or to flatter us. Which makes it very difficult for you to survive in a DRBA environment. Because most of you come to the temple, the normal person comes to the temple, for seeking for confirmation, affirmation of the self. I'm great, I'm nice, I'm superior, I have blessings, right? For you to be told your blessings run out, it's offensive. And who are you to tell me that? I don't need your blessings. You walk away. Okay?
So if you say you're a bodhisattva, your blessings have run out?
No.
So if I were to call you bodhisattva, then I'm really flattering you. Okay? And it's not right. I don't feel right, first of all. Never mind about you. I have to look at myself first. If I feel so strongly about your offering, your money, and your adoration that I need to feel that I need to flatter you, to continue, that I don't deserve to be here.
That's emptiness.
I can't teach you. I'm misleading you. Okay? On the other hand, you have to look at yourself. If you hear something unpleasant or something flattering, you have to look at how you react to it.
We were making jokes, remember?
Because no matter how hard life is towards you, it's how you react to it. Okay? So if you have a hard life, you can choose to stay with your principles and say, I'm staying on the right side, on the proper side. I'm not venturing into the negative side. That's very common. People, they react, they become bitter, they become unhappy, they become resentful.
That's wrong.
Okay? They only harming themselves. That's all they're doing. It's a lack of clarity. It's not about being right, being wrong. It's how you react to being right and being wrong. That's what cultivation is about. For 2 hours I listened to this person here, talk with this person. I have yet to hear the question, why did you treat me that way? Okay? It's amazing to me. It's about coming to see me to affirm that they were right or you're wrong. It's not about understanding. It's not about trying to go beyond it. It's about reaffirmation of your being right. Such a lack of clarity of mind. Where is the clarity that should come from your samadhi power?
There was another thing, Master, that shocked me. I don't know how many other people were shocked by it, but it affected me a lot. There was a nun, I don't know what she was doing, I have no idea, but right in front of all of us, the other nun there started slapping her and reprimanding her in front of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Were you shocked too?
Yes, I was like,
thought, why would she do that in front of everybody? Started slapping. You do that, and she slapped her.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was
Over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that display necessary? I mean, was there something that we?
I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened.
No, this was last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
You see which nuns? Do you recognize
This
them?
was Jin Wen.
Jin Ran,
And the other one was the
Little lady.
little one that did the.
So she's the one who scolded the small one?
Yeah.
She scolded the small one, the one that was with.
You'll do it.
Jin,
With the two.
Yeah, that was the one.
So
She was telling her to give the Dharma talk.
So what are
The one they gave
what
her.
are you objecting to?
I don't think she felt she was ready.
The public reprimand.
Well, no, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, so Jin Wen, she asked Jin Lin, to give the Dharma talk?
And she refused,
The
right?
three of them gave
I don't know
Dharma
that
talk.
she
One in which
refused.
Anyway,
One in Chinese and one in...
No, two
But
ladies.
it's
Good. I'm glad you brought it up. You
There's
have.
one nun giving the Dharma talk, the other two were translators.
Right.
And
Okay.
at the beginning of, before that ceremony, I think before we had a break or something,
That's when she
one
was...
of them was informed that she was giving the Dharma talk, and I think she objected to it.
You do that.
That's when it started.
And
Yeah.
then I recognized her as the one who gave the Dharma talk.
That's right, Ken.
And basically, the Dharma talk that she gave was
Very.
basically the same stuff that we
Yeah.
had all
It,
during the day.
it made us be very patient,
Yeah.
and which was good.
Very patient.
But that was good for us.
But it was, it was,
Now, what do you say?
So who gave the
That
Dharma
was a
talk?
pretty good talk.
Who gave the Dharma talk, Wendy?
She's a fully ordained nun. She's short.
Okay, Jinmin, then Lotus Flower, then
I don't know her. Sorry.
She was good.
but
How old is she?
The problem we had,
Jinmin, she's, I
She's
would say, maybe in her late 40s, early 50s. Her master, actually, she has a master in France. She goes to visit her master, I guess, once a year.
Those Vietnamese nuns they have a lot of Dharma ages. They're pretty old. They leave their home life pretty early.
She's a very
Especially
intuitive
from the
nun.
Vietnamese tradition.
Very
They leave,
intuitive.
like they become a shamini at the age of maybe when they were in the teens. Okay?
When they're teens and then they're initiated.
And then they don't become fully ordained until they're 21.
Well, they do that in the Catholic.
So,
But I thought she was older than Jin Wen.
Yeah, I thought she was older too.
I did, yeah, much
She
older.
looks older than me.
yeah.
No.
The one thing you're learning there is that not to be attached to whatever happens between them. Okay? It may be shocking to you. Okay?
Well,
But it's none of your business, first of all. This is a very important lesson for you. Okay? Because that world is different from yours. Okay? It's a too bad it happened in front of you before without a proper preparation. Because it's shocking to most adults to be witnessing this. Okay? And it turns people off. Okay? That's why these chastising and these scolding is usually done in private. Okay, so it's really serves a purpose. It's a very good thing that happened actually. Happened to me a lot, so I speak from personal experience.
in public? It happened to you in public?
Not in public. Actually, it's worse in public.
It's worse
I
in
was-
public, that's what I think.
I thought so too.
I was chastised in public. I was forbidden to eat in public. I was put to work in public. I was made to slave in public. All those things. Okay, but it helped me in the end. Actually, after the resentment, I became very grateful. That monk who did it to me, I said, anytime in the rest of your career as a monk, you ever need a place to live, you can come to my temple because you taught me it's invaluable. Something I could never learn as a monk,
I guess
as a lay person.
I guess what's confusing me so much is that we're being taught about compassion and kindness, and then to see.
Because you're so still attached to the form of compassion and
Yeah, because
giving.
you define it differently.
Yeah.
Master YongHua says that.
Oh, okay.
Compassion could be sometimes you have to beat up on your children because you're out of love.
Compassion can be a kick.
Tough love.
Sometimes you have to use a stick. Sometimes you use a carrot. You only see the stick.
Well, I
And
guess when you're an
sometimes-
outsider, when it's not you or not involved with it, it gives a whole different perspective to it.
Right.
Because you're looking at it and what I feel real bad. I have bad feelings when I see anybody be mistreated, even if it's just a little thing. It bothers me.
Right.
And I don't know why, but it does terrible.
Then it's good for you. You should look at that and let go of that because it's none of your
Oh, I feel
business.
so bad.
It's none of your business. Suppose if you find me scolding someone else, it's for that person's good.
Well, as a
It's
master,
done
I
for
look at it
on the
differently
purpose.
when you do that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about.
This is the private training, the in-house training.
Oh, but Master, I've seen others in public, in shopping centers and in grocery stores that are brutal to their children, and you can't just stand there.
That's different.
Well,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So these guys, they shave their head and go in there and say, "Teach me," and actually, it's the small nun who got scolded. It's her blessing to be able to be scolded in public. You ask me.
It's a learning experience.
Because
Big time.
it's not being about scolding. It's how you react to it. Exactly what she misses completely. Do you resent it, or do you become grateful, or do you want to understand?
She didn't seem like she was affected by it.
If you fight, that means that you are not willing to learn.
I had a great deal of experience with Lance class.
Completely missed the boat. It's terrible thing. Okay, so you have this is your chance. See, she asked a very good question right there, because this is your first exposure. This is a different environment, and part of your learning experience is that when you expose to that, you learn at your own reactions. It's a turn off for you. Okay. Why are you so turned off? What if I were to tell you it's really for that nun's benefit? How would you react?
I would say that's a good
Okay?
thing.
Then it's your attachments to marks. You associate scolding, okay, berating with something negative. But you're missing the good aspect of the scolding. You're missing the importance of giving the stick every now and then to help wake them up. Because if they didn't do it then, at that moment that you witnessed, and they were to do it later on, the impact is not the same afterwards.
Right.
Yes, question.
Isn't it kind of
the incense board is nothing compared to what I gave you.
I'm saying, as far as our interpretation,
what I put you through, I put you seen through. Okay, it's even worse than incense board. Incense board only hurt you on your skin and your muscles.
Oh, okay.
I hurt you where it counts.
In the mind. Yes.
And I want to see how you react to it. This is where the true self comes out. You can't hide anymore. Okay? So you have the two options. Either you want to hide, then you run away because you want to keep it in the dark. You want to hide, then you understand. Remember the prior section. Very important to keep lit. Keep areas in your mind where it's dark. That's where you get in trouble. It's okay to be honest about your feelings. Okay? That's why you are cultivating together. Don't hide. No need to hide. Because when you hide, that's when you get in trouble. The problems do not get addressed. Okay? It's okay. It's not about, maybe it takes a long time to fix it, but at least you're working at it. You're giving yourself a chance. You keep buying these lottery tickets so that someday you win the big prize. You don't buy the ticket, you're not going to win. I'm not advocating gambling here. Okay.
Well, there's good gambling and bad gambling.
So going back to the analogy I gave to RJ earlier, no one is asking RJ for anything. Okay, that's the beauty of that form of giving from the parents. You as parents, you give to your children. You give, you don't ever ask for anything in return. Okay?
That's right.
And all you hope for is someday they understand, they say, maybe I should be more grateful, and I should find more ways to express my gratitude. That's why in Mahayana, filiality is so important, because our parents did so much for us, so much more than we realize, that we have to spend a lot of efforts to repay the kindness. Okay? The thing with parents is that by the time that our children realize it is too late for them, they be leaving the home already, and now they have more worries, husband to worry about, children to worry about. And then by the time they have their own children, that's when they realize, that's what I need to do for my parents, for my children. Then they appreciate you more. By then, you are 1 foot in the grave already, if not 2. And that's the way it is. The nature of giving. So that's why I enjoy the opportunity to speak Dharma for RJ and Ryan here, because they are so blessed. I wish I could hear this I have this type of insight when I was younger. It would have changed my life for the better. I had to stumble and learn it the hard way. And it's the same thing you're doing to the future generation. By requesting Dharma, you're making this information available. Maybe it won't be available to a lot of people, but the next person who reads it, knows about it, hears it, and can make some use out of it, is worthwhile. Is worth your while already. Yes.
On the midway path, I understand of number 1 there. I understand the inverse. What constitutes the proper part / proper? Just all the Dharma, the learning of the Dharma.
When you get there, I explain more. It's way beyond you. Trust me. Way beyond you.
Everything's always beyond me.
You start first with the emptiness. After you cultivate the emptiness contemplation, you move on to mundane contemplation, and you move on to middle way. Before that, it's useless to explain to you what the middle way contemplation is. You're skipping steps. You can't.
Got to do all the emptiness to go to the next.
You have to succeed in emptiness contemplation before you can do mundane contemplation. It's up there. Trust me.
I trust you.
I saw that yesterday, that some of the things that I experienced, it isn't necessary for you to know.
I'm only planting the seeds right now for you to say, hey, there's something more down the road.
I saw that yesterday with myself.
Okay? And that's all we can do. You need time. You plant the seeds, and you need time for the seed to sprout. You need a lot of things before it sprouts. You have to be patient. And this is why I commit to help to continue this process, because I realize that if I help you cultivate dhyana samadhi power quickly, then you become out of balance. You become so full of yourself. You don't listen anymore. Okay?
She also announced this morning, that there's going to be another.
Yeah, if you have the chance, go and cultivate, practice there, because what they're doing there, you're planting your Pure Land seeds.
Yeah,
okay, you're creating a Pure Land affinity, which is always a good thing. Okay, if you have time. But as far as you are concerned, when Sunday comes, when you're supposed to be in the kitchen, you go to the kitchen. I don't care about your cultivation. Okay? It's very specific. When I tell you to do something, that supersedes the other. If you have time for the other, fine. Okay? And believe me, it's a tremendous blessing you're able to do that, to be able to go in the kitchen and slave for them. Trust me.
I
You
introduced
see how long you last.
to the crew yesterday.
That's my challenge to you.
Stage is set. All it needs the actors. I'm ready.
Okay, this is the part.
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 I'm ready.